Welcome to episode 5. Yep, that's right, 5 of Let's Play Civilization 3 Play the World. Alright, as you remember, we were at war with the Russians, sending troops across the Greeks' land when the Greeks said, oh, guess what, we're not going to cooperate even after you gave us that technology. So, after the Greeks have spat in our eye, we really can't do anything to the Russians, except with that one horseman who I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to do anything. Except maybe poke around and see what's going on, you know. Well, we'll just have these guys hang out where they are. Right? Injured German guy there. Wonder what that means. Perhaps the Germans are also at war with the Russians and we didn't know because we don't have an embassy with them. Remember, the Germans are the number one people to watch out for in this game. On this map, I mean, because if they get strong, they might run away with the game. So we have to keep a close eye out for those guys and what they do. Alright. Well, I want to keep the war with the Russians going at least long enough to fill out the contract obligations that I have with the Koreans. Because remember, keeping your reputation up is very important, and I want my alliance with the Koreans to come to a natural end rather than an abrupt end. And hold on, take a look up at Sevastopol. I know I pronounced that wrong, but that city the Germans have taken from the Russians. So yes, it's confirmed. The Germans are warring with the Russians. So we have to keep an extra eye out to make sure they don't gain too much Russian territory. This also means being at war with the Russians really isn't the the best thing for our country to be doing, so we're going to pursue peace with them as soon as possible. Now, I don't mind the Koreans being at war with the Russians because they're not quite as strong as the Germans. But between the Germans and the Koreans, they might be able to take the Russians down. So anyway, our first caravel is ready, and he's going to come down there. We still don't have navigation quite yet, but it's only 7 turns away. So we're going to get it very soon, and with it we'll begin the age of colonization. Oh, look at that Russian galley. Let's fight him. Oh, when it's a blowout, our guys sink. I like to think that our rowers on that boat managed to swim ashore to Germany, but they probably went down with the ship or got captured by the Russians. Oh well. Right, I was wondering if the Koreans wanted to reassess terms of the treaty, but no, our friends just want a territory map. And since this is a country that didn't stab us in the back and spit in our eye, I'm still willing to trade with them. I'm going to give them astronomy in return for invention and music theory. A pretty good deal, I must say. I don't worry about them getting starting to colonize as much because, as you can tell, they're on the other side of the continent, so their colonies will probably start in a different region than ours, which is less of a problem. And yes, it's pretty clear to tell that the Germans and the Russians are fighting. Alright, the Germans are mad. Well, I guess that means our one lone horseman is getting sent all the way back to Greece, and that's the end of our little exhibition in the middle of the continent. Alright. Well, we have some new wonders popping up here and there, which is all fine and good, but it's not something that worries me too greatly just because we don't really need those things. We might try for some wonders later on, but for now, it's not a priority. Alright, now I'm going to talk to the Koreans to check how much time I have left on the treaty. And it's 4 turns. Yep, I have to remain at war with the Russians for that amount of time, but after that, I'm free to make peace with no repercussions to my reputation. Alright, but all these cities, I'm going to have them build spearmen and settlers to get ready to board ships and enter the New World. I'm really excited about that. There's something about colonizing and exploring new lands that gives me a thrill, you know? And, well, we can go as far as the sea now. So we'll just have our first caravel go down there and wait. Alright, you get down there too. I don't want to depopulate our lands too much because, after all, the Greeks are sitting there and we don't want them to try anything funny. Alright, you just fortify there for 3 more turns until navigation is ready. The Greeks want to talk to us. Let's see what those guys have to say. You know what? We're not trading anything with you after what you pulled. Nope, you're getting nothing from us. But I get to expand my palace, and I'm very happy about that. You know, you can never say anything bad about palace expansions. They are always awesome. Okay. So, we're doing pretty well. Oh, look at that. The Koreans have captured Odessa. So yeah, the Germans and the Koreans really are closing in on either side of the Russians. Well, I'm imagining beating the Russians down a little bit isn't a bad thing at this point in the game. Like I said, we just have to make sure the Germans don't get too strong. There go the Spanish with their little galley. I imagine they're probably going to settle another city somewhere in the region of their first, which seems like a pretty good distance to have to go to settle a city, because there are places that are closer, as you will soon see. Well, we lost our furs, because remember that was part of our trade with the Greeks. And I don't think there's much we can do with the Greeks in order to get it back, so we're just going to forget about that and do without. Alright, 1 more turn left on that treaty with the Koreans. So we just have to hang tight for 1 more turn, and then we can make peace. Alright, you guys hang out there and wait for more caravels to arrive to bring you away. Alright, now every city is connected by roads. That worker can just do what everyone else does. What do the Germans want? Not an alliance, because we don't have an embassy with them. We might as well do that deal. We can gain some knowledge of the world. We've really blazed through the Middle Ages. I remember in my first LP it took, I think, 15 videos, but we've shot right through in 5. Well, okay, not right through, but we're already at gunpowder. And that's pretty quick. So I like the pace of this. We're going pretty well. Well, I'm going to trade with the Koreans again for some technology. I can't get both. So I decide, well, I mean I can get both, but look at all I have to give them. I'm not really ready to do all that. So I'll just go for gunpowder now, because, come on, it's gunpowder. I don't think I'm going to have any saltpeter, because that doesn't really appear on any terrain type that you'll find in my empire. However, there might be some saltpeter in the New World that we can exploit. So, there you go. We have an opportunity there. Alright, Russia, now that I've made peace with ended my treaty with the Koreans, I'm free to make peace with you. Of course, it's still too much to ask for them to give me technology or any of their cities, because it's not like I'm bearing down on them with overwhelming destructive force. I'm still pretty much unable to deal any harm to them. So I'll satisfy myself with taking the meager gold that they have and taking a copy of their world map. But like I said, I don't want the Russians to get wiped out right now. So I'm willing to give them a deal that will include me giving a little bit of money to them if they can get banking. And I'm not really concerned about them settling either because, come on either side of them are enemies that want to kill them. So they're not going to do much settling in the near future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, navigation has been discovered. The age of colonization is upon us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, by the time we get to episode 6, the first caravels will set out for the New World to settle new colonies. I can't wait. Alright, I will see everyone next time for episode 6. So long.